Hi guys, can you please confirm that you can hear me? Yeah, thank you for confirmation. I was just messing around with my laptop because before I used my phone and it was bad actually. So, but you need a VPN in Dubai to use Telegram. So like complicated. Sorry for being late. Yeah, why am I red? Because here it's like 45 degrees. So, yeah, and I'm jogging in the morning, so it's pretty intense. Great. So I'm using my laptop. Sound is good. So let's get started then. Sorry for 15 minutes delay. So yeah, it's Friday, and as always, maybe like for a year straight. Without missing a beat, I'm doing this Friday's AMA. So yeah, so what was happening on Waves last week? A lot of things. Actually, some of them pretty nice for a change. The miners have finally voted for the proposal. There was this proposal to buy back XTN and also launch with DAO with the inflation, with a share of the inflation. And there was a lot of discussion because the situation is kind of volatile and the miners were not like convinced at the beginning. So we have spent maybe a month to discuss, and we came up with some other features. And also, I would like to thank Paribu Exchange that has a sufficient stake, and they were waiting for the rest of the miners to agree on the proposal. And once this agreement was reached yesterday, they voted. And yeah, I think it was very interesting. It was a very democratic process. I think it should actually be used in the future. You know, I liked it because I was able to meet a lot of new people. I talked to probably all the miners, you know, on Waves, not only in group chats, but personally as well. And I think it was pretty useful for the future because it's a democracy, you know, blockchain for the people. So we were able to reach some decision, and we're discussing the details now regarding the DAO, how it's going to work and such. But I think we are on the same page. And now it's time to move forward because this is important. I think this proposal is quite important, and it can actually get us out of this situation that we are in currently and have been for quite a while. And I like what is happening now. So what's going to happen next? The voting period ends in about a week. After that, there is activation period of 1 week as well. And after that, the proposal gets activated, the buyback starts, and issuance of waves to the DAO starts as well. And all the XTN that has been bought back is burned, as people in the chat mentioned. And basically, yeah, guys, here we go. You know, so I thought that this thing should have happened like a month ago. You know, but no, we have what we have. So despite the delay, I think it was good in general. It was good because as I said, you know, but I'd like to repeat, I reached out to a lot of people got on the same page, and I think it brought the community closer. What else happened last week? What else, guys, happened last week? So let me just check maybe some notes, because so many things are happening and I'm always in some discussion, and it's just hard to concentrate on one thing. Yeah, some DAO proposals were accepted. For example, Pepe Team has received the funding. Yes, some teams did not receive the funding. For example, East team that is developing the stablecoin. The funds have run out. XTM funds that was donated to the treasury, but there's going to be more funds with Waves. So I think they will reapply for this. So guys, okay, so let's just ask questions and I'll be answering them, and maybe I will come up with some other news or please ask me questions. Yeah. What are the next steps for Waves DAO? Yeah, so basically there is a separate interface for it, which is in development. Let me maybe even send you the link. Wait, I was just discussing it in the miners chat. Yeah, it's maybe not looking too fancy, but we have to maybe make the design better. But just to give you some teaser. Yes, so the next step for Waves DAO is activation of the miner proposal. New teams, probably with funding requests. And a very important thing is the first KPI milestone. Basically, every quarter, every 3 months, the KPI is settled. So the KPI is to grow the treasury, basically. It's pretty simple. So people don't seem to understand how it works on Waves, because we are trying always, as you know, to do something else, not what other projects do. And Waves DAO works differently. Basically, to participate, you need to lock some tokens. And if your participation is unsuccessful, that is, you make some wrong decisions, like collectively. In this case, it means that the treasury value goes down, not up. Your tokens are being burned, basically. Maybe not all of them, but you get slashed. So you lose your tokens, power tokens. This is the idea, to have some skin in the game, so people don't have to vote just, to vote without thinking about the consequences. They have to think what happens next. Yes, so this KPI settlement is very important. It's going to happen in about 2 months. And this is something we are looking forward to. I think the first KPI should be good, because most of the treasury was donated. And maybe it doesn't make sense to be very strict at the beginning with people. But I think the second milestone will be more important, because for Waves DAO, because from now on, only real, not donated funds are going to be coming to the treasury. So the idea is to make profits. And if the profits are not made, there's going to be consequences. Any previous CME, when is Surf getting some airdrop love? Yes, I think we really, guys, so many things are happening and we need to decide about a lot of things, and Surf is of course one of them, and its time is gonna come. We need to basically resolve the Surf situation in general, to give some roadmap for what's gonna happen to Surf, so that people are not unhappy, at least, some buyback. So we need to maybe have some holistic approach to this. I think realistically, yeah, because I promised that, then people started to dump power tokens, and I thought that adding new power tokens to the market doesn't make sense, because it has to be scarce. So I want to see some positive dynamics for power price, I think is going to be happening maybe when the settlement date is approaching, so there has to be some positive dynamics, and then we will introduce new tokens to the market, maybe through different means, because the initial airdrop is not complete yet. So there is several batches to go, and as you requested, we can make an airdrop to serve holders, and I basically agreed. So why not? So this will happen, guys. But now, if we just drop it to serve holders, they will just sell it. Power. And why should we do that? Maybe we can do something more reasonable, So let's wait for some price dynamics, and let's decide on the future of Serve as a whole. Now miners have voted. Hi, Netherworld. Now miners have voted. There will be a new token in Trino Basket. Yeah, we should discuss this. What token should that be, actually? What do you think? Tell me. When BTC WXG withdrawable? Yeah, unfortunately, I can't tell you that it's going to be withdrawable tomorrow. For now, we are trying to increase the fees for the buyback and look for some funding. As soon as there is some news, I will let you know. So I'm doing my best. When? Yeah, so soon. Yeah, okay, yeah. It's always soon, but so something is happening. And what can I tell you? If I could, it would happen today, but it probably requires some more time. Let's make the subsequent airdrop for egg holders. Maybe we can do something else with egg. I have a couple ideas which were postponed due to the voting, because everybody was waiting for the voting, because it's kind of like it was stuck, the whole thing just stopped because everybody was waiting. But now, once it's over, once the activation is active, we can move on. And I did have some ideas regarding egg, and maybe we need to have some. I will discuss it maybe later, but let me not tell you now. Something should be done. Yeah, Netherworld pool. Yeah, so Puzzle Swap has a very nice feature. I'm not advertising Puzzle, but I actually didn't know about that. Netherworld sent me his link, and I talked to Volo, of course, to Vladimir, but I didn't know about that nice feature. So basically, anybody can. I knew about that, but I didn't realize that it's so easy to launch your own pool on Puzzle. It's a pretty neat feature. You should check it out. Yeah, it's pretty nice. So why you fired Wawa? What do you mean? Wawa is with us. If you mean that we basically Waves is decentralized now, at the beginning of Waves we had one company maybe with most developers in Moscow, but it was a long time ago. Now everybody's basically not on his own, but there's no centralization. So I can't fire Wawa, because I'm not employing him. Yeah, but Wawa, I think, so he has his own project, and so this is the idea here, so initially we have to be centralized, but now it's time to get decentralized, and don't have one center of control anymore. Why do you start liquidating on V1? There is, I think, 1 month for closing out old loans, and then the debt will be assumed. Why every week less people interested in AMA? Maybe it's a good thing, due to the FOD and such. Tell us about the idea of gradually replacing tokens in the treasury with Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum. Yeah, I was still thinking about that because I actually suggested that we could launch some kind of bot that will be buying Bitcoin, but it has to be done in a decentralized way, and Bitcoin volume on DEX-based DEX is very small now. So I'm thinking about doing it like separately. Maybe we could just launch some kind of trading bots. It will be trading XTN and buying Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's not going to be like a part of Neutrino. There's going to be some app on top of it. I think we have to finalize this because this idea is like has been around for some time, and we need to decide what we do with this. Sasha, why are you gay? I don't know what to tell you, man. I'm not gay. I'm like 0% gay. How KPI will be calculated to raise DAO? Basically, it's in the description. So the goal is to make 20% growth of the treasury. But once I think so there is some caveat here because the first treasury was donated. So I think this rule, like 20% profit, will set in after the first settlement, because since like all the treasury was donated, it's hard to say what the profit is. I'm not like even 1% gay. Nothing against gays. I'm just not gay. So you can be gay, you can be not gay. I'm not gay. It's very simple. Like 0%. I don't mind people who are 100% gay, but I'm not even 1%. How core developers will be funded? I have a couple ideas. I will let you know soon. When top 100, I don't care, guys. Let me just not like talk about that. I just don't care. Okay. What is the ratio of the miners get for the 2 weeks with DAO LP? Yes, LP calculation might actually, we're discussing this because there is XTN in the treasury already. So we need to decide how we calculate the LP for the miners. We are in discussion now. How did you escape Titanic sub? My condolences to the families, of course. It's a very bad thing. Everybody was following it. Some people said that it was some kind of a ploy to distract people's attention from Biden's son or something, but I don't think so. It's a pretty bad thing, actually. Some billionaires got into basically a tin can, some kind of like a coffin, like underwater coffin, which obviously was very, very flimsy, and like piece of shit, more or less. And it's crazy, you understand how crazy people are, because they just didn't think. And actually, I would have gone as well if somebody offered me that, because I wouldn't even think, So some people are working on that for years, and you believe them, you don't think that anything can go wrong. So it's a very bad situation, and probably not about the tech. It's mostly about how people behave, and it's pretty bad. It looks like the guys were dead instantly. So it's good, because otherwise it would be awful. when BTC WXG withdrawable, I actually replied, when you sleep, do you dream about making blockchains rule the world? I very rarely have dreams, to be honest. Somehow, I don't know why. Yeah, but I'm thinking about like some better ways for humanity to live, and that way does involve decentralization. And this is what really worries me, because I can see so many problems, and I'm kind of like, I'm more and more surprised every day, guys, to be honest, so I like, maybe it's like some other AMA, because everybody wants to know when they can withdraw their BTC, and if I start to talk about world's problems, people won't be happy. In the use about WX, yeah, basically we need to start marketing, and everybody was waiting for the miners. So Galki, you know that, and yeah, this proposal is important for wage decentralization, for the ways teams can be funded on waves. It's very important, because now we don't have any there's no way back here. We can only move forward towards decentralizing of the community. And we need to make sure that we have a very clear flows of funds so that people can get funded, and everything depends on it. So we got stuck somehow for a month. It's okay. Maybe it's even good. And once this Wave DAO starts to function properly with the inflation, it's time for the projects to move forward. I'm talking about WX with some people about investment. I have some other ideas. Yeah, so no major news yet after the launch of the new domain. The next step for WX is start moving forward, increasing the volumes, doing some marketing, and it's going to happen soon. Sorry, I have to reply to some. Yeah, sorry, somebody's calling me, so I told him to fuck off. Not like that, of course, no. I said that I have a very important meeting, and I can't reply. Yeah, so Galka, you need to understand how, about power, how it works. There is two levels. There is no way for smart contracts to judge whether a particular project are good or bad. So people decide on that. And if people don't decide right, there is other people, there is more people. So there is child DAOs and the main DAO, which is called mother DAO. That's how I like to call it, actually. I like this cyberpunk name. And if there is something wrong in the child communities, people, for example, decide that they're doing fine, but they lost all the money from the treasury. In this case, anybody can come and challenge their decision. And the wider community decides what to do with them. So the goal is to create some kind of fail-safe mechanism in such a way that if something goes wrong, the whole community comes together and resolve this problem. It's a very simple idea, actually. So KPIs can't be determined automatically, obviously, because there is several different assets in the treasury. And in any case, if we use some way to calculate, it's pretty hard to do it through a smart contract. So it can be calculated off-chain, and the result of this calculation is used to do the slashing transaction or profit transaction. And people vote for it. That's it, And if they don't want to vote for the right transaction, it can be escalated to the main DAO, and the main DAO gets access to child DAO treasury and does the right thing. That's the logic here. Yeah, Galka, probably here nobody understands you. Let me just maybe let's discuss it in the note chat. So, or where am I? I'm in the wrong chat. Sorry. Fuck, guys. I'm in the wrong chat. Yeah, it's crazy. Waves 2.0, yes, yes, it's coming, guys. We are like working on Waves 1.5, and I'm just like trying to come up with two things. First, it has to help us resolve our current problems, which we have. I have to admit that, So, and second, it has to make sense in its own right. So it can be something that is just like some kind of like a token, which is like used to pay people and tell them, guys, here's the token, wait till it goes up. It might not go up at all. So there is this like new L2, and just it's not gonna work, So this is not my goal. So my goal is to announce and launch and develop something that can work for like years and decades. That's why it's taking so long. So if I was really like, bent on like just resolving the situation and giving people some tokens, I would have done it long ago. But I need to come up with something valuable for the like general blockchain community, and it takes time. But I think we have settled on a plan. It involves an EVM L2 as the first step, but in general, it's something much bigger, actually. So it's like some kind of like assembly, or like some kind of like a set of interacting blockchains which function on top of a very fast L0 chain, not a one L0, I prefer to call it, because it's a very basic chain that can do very simple things, only transfers, and it can also verify ZK proofs. That's all it can do, nothing else. No smart contracts, only transfers and verification. And those like L2s that work on top of L0 can interact through this L0. It's something like Cosmos, maybe, in a way, but done very differently using zero knowledge. It should be faster, and it basically introduces an idea of L0, a very fast chain that is focusing on very specific tasks, namely zero knowledge proofs verification. So this is the direction we're going to go, and it's going to be done in stages. The first stage is to launch L2 on top of Waves with EVM support. Yes, and there's going to be some economy there. Probably it's a little bit too early to announce, especially in the FOD group. But it's coming, guys. So this is a plan, and I think it will be interesting because Waves will finally have EVM, and also it will help with the current situation, at least somewhat. Let me share with you the details as soon as I have them. So, but it's coming very soon. Yeah, I know you love when I'm saying soon, but yeah, we are working, and something is always soon. Some more questions. Can we reach top 10 this year? I wouldn't focus on that, guys. As I said, this is like not the priority. Priority is to do something long-lasting. What happened in Virus that already no API for nothing? Yeah, there was this governance proposal. Please check it. It was accepted by the community. Before WX token was released, you've talked about having you. Yes, so we need to launch them. We need to launch. So some teams have received some funding from with DAO, and that funding should be used actually to prepare the launches of the tokens. So IDOs are coming. Yeah, I'm not sure about the bull runs, but maybe it might happen. But it's going to be okay. So every week something new happens, and every week you have a different perspective of what's going to happen next. It means that we live in a very volatile world, and anything can happen actually. But this week, as you know, a lot of big US players have entered crypto markets. Some funds, huge funds. But they're going to be focusing on majors, basically. It's going to be Bitcoin. It's mostly going to be about Bitcoin, I guess. Looks like. I'm not saying that they're going to be successful, but I think the plan is to really focus on a few major cryptocurrencies, such as Bitcoin. Because fiat is so bad that even Bitcoin is awesome in comparison, And I don't think they want to have small players. So I'm not sure about the rest of the alts, but let's see how it goes. So what I'm trying to say, I'm not trying to say that crypto is dead and such. I'm just trying to say that we have to be independent. We have to do something that will separate us from this broader market, because we have no connection to it, so we're not like Bitcoin, and we have to be separate, we have to be independent. That's it. And let's not wait for bull runs. Let's forget about bull runs. Let's do something that can work irrespective of what is happening with S&P or dollar or whatever, This is the goal, because crypto, maybe 1 minute, I have to maybe share with you my thinking, without going into details, because you will get bored. But there was probably different ideas about crypto at the beginning, and I think I had some other idea, which is probably not so successful now, because some other idea is winning now. So somebody messaged in a chat today, I saw this message: crypto is not about democracy, and I thought, yeah, guy, you are right. Actually, you are very right. Crypto is becoming something pretty evil, in my opinion. But there was this other direction of crypto, like decentralization, DAOs and such, and I'm more interested in this, So I think this monetary angle is winning now for crypto, but there is other things, and I hope they will come back or become important. They were never important, actually. Let's see how it goes, So okay, enough philosophy. Some threats. Thank you very much. Yeah, the power governance. Yeah, the power platform is something that sets waves apart, I think, because this is a different approach, and I think some teams have tried similar things on Ethereum, but it was very theoretical. So I can't see DAOs with the same approach that a power DAO has. So if it's successful, it's going to be successful not only as power protocol, but as a very important project for Waves and maybe beyond. Yeah, absolutely. So what we should focus on? This is governance and this is scalability. Two things you have to resolve, scalability and governance. When the 2 waves per block XTN burn starts happening, do you see a situation where it is profitable to add collateral to an SBT and mint XTN? I think people want XTN issuance to be stopped, to be just, confident in the future. That is, there's not going to be any more XTN in the market than there is now. So, and I think someone will come up with this proposal for the governance. I think it makes sense. Our goal is not to save XTN USDN. Our goal is to burn it, so we need to burn as much as possible. And once the excess USDN has been burned, it might live on with full backing, as an index token, as it is intended now. So, but until this happens, I think it doesn't make sense to issue more XTN, because it would be weird. We are trying to burn XTN at the same time we issue XTN, or someone issues XTN. So let's just wait till all the excess XTN has been burned, and that's when we can think about new issuance. Guys, Latin American supporters are great. Thank you very much for your support, guys. But it will be adding collateral. Let's just, as you understand, backing ratio is pretty low now in XTN. So there is more XTN than there is backing. So until the supply of XTN matches the backing, probably it doesn't make sense to issue more. Yeah, suppose minting. This is what I'm saying. Someone should, actually people are suggesting this, and I think someone should make this proposal on neutrino governance, or maybe we could just make it without the proposal. No, I'm fine. I'm going to be fine with it too, because it's centralization and such, maybe, but in this case, I don't know. I don't think anybody's going to have anything against it. So. Sasha, when we can withdraw BTC, USDT, USDC? As I said, for now, we can only buy back with fees. And I'm trying to find some ways to expedite this. And as soon as I've done it, I will let you know. Why can't we add ways to collateral every block 2 ways? Yeah, I have explained many times, because people will think centralized exchanges. So I'm saying the way it is actually. I probably would have done that as well, to be honest. But we were convincing centralized exchanges for months that USDN was not Luna. And if we start sending inflation waves, mining rewards directly to the treasury, it becomes Luna, so we just can't do that, because in this case, they will have a reason to delist us. And why risk that? I don't think you're going to like it, guys, if we get delisted from exchanges, right? No, so let's not do it, because it's more or less the same thing, more or less, yeah? It's just looks differently. It's kind of the same thing. Either you add it to the treasury or you just burn the excess. It's the same thing. But for some people, it might look very different. So let's just, let's not tease those people, and let's do what miners have voted for. And so please don't ask me those questions, because I have been in so many discussions with all the exchanges, and let me please do something else, really, because I don't think it's fruitful. I don't think it makes sense, because how it works actually, how those guys work, they don't really, they understand you, but they have a pressure for their community. They're saying what the fuck, this is Luna, and they react to external requests. If their community is saying that, guys, this shit looks like Luna because this and this, and they're not gonna argue. They will just say, what the fuck are you doing, man? So we have problems with community. So, and they react to their communities. That's it. So, and you can't convince them because they're saying, so we probably understand you, but our community does not. That's it. What is happening with SwapFi? I think nothing major. The team, as you know, working on Xly. I think SwapFi, and I think Launchpad on SwapFi will work against them. Ivanov will also be killed in Dubai. Okay, man, come, please, come. Tell me when you're coming. Really, send me location. Multi-chain swap idea through Pepe bridges, maybe. So, but in general, those multi-chain swaps are hardly decentralized at the moment. Absolutely. Let's distribute daily unused. Why? Okay, I got your idea. Have to think, Do you polish your head? Who, me? Let me take a look now. No, I don't. I just like polished, I have hair. When can we get our waves from viewers that are in the old market because someone from the team took those waves? There is like 1 month to close out those loans, and after that, the debt will be assumed. So let's see how it goes. How is search for VCs going? It's not going too fast, to be honest. But I'm still talking, and I think something will come out of this. SwapFi is not dead. It's working. What happens with the new games on Waves? What new games? So I think we have some teams who want to apply for the DAO funds to launch some gambling projects. And as for like NFTs, not so sure. And what are the plans to bring in more WX traders? We need to have more trading pairs, obviously, and we need to do some marketing. Maybe something else, but let's just think about like things that are easier to do, So we can maybe think about some interchain stuff, some Ethereum integration, native, but it's gonna take time. So I think before that, we need to do some basic stuff like launching more pairs, doing some marketing, and it's coming. What happens when all teams start running out of DAO funds and their own funds from the lack of new money? So the plan is the following, basically. Those DAO funds were actually meant to support the teams for some time until they can launch their products with IDOs. So it's not like funds for very long runway. It's some kind of a way to hold out for some time and launch the product. So if they're unsuccessful, unfortunately, okay, this is what it is, But we are trying to save the teams. We're trying to attract the new teams. Some of the teams might fail. There's no guarantee of success. But they will launch their products. And if the products become successful, profitable, the teams are doing fine. and they should attract additional funds through IDOs. This is the plan, at least. What do you think the challenge of Waves will be in the next 3 years if he does marketing? How will the negative shadow of community offended by everything? Yeah, sure. So, we need to move forward regardless, and of course, we're not gonna, rename something or say that it hasn't happened. And we have to resolve the situation and move forward. So anything can happen to you, shit happens. The question is how you deal with it. So and how I'm dealing with it, I am trying to resolve it, and I'm gonna be doing this until it is resolved. So I'm not gonna, do any rebranding, relaunches. Like, no, I won't do that. No. Buterin dragged Ethereum out of not so dissimilar hole. No, I think it was a very different situation. If you mean DAO thing on Ethereum, yeah, it was some kind of like, I understand why he did that actually, but it's like, it happened so long ago. When XTN $1 again, I think we are on track to increasing the price with a miner's proposal. So this is a very important thing. It's gonna take time, but we are on track. So we were like off the track, but we are now on the track. So any new thoughts on the surf buyout? I have to think about it. I just didn't have time, really. So many things are happening, and like I can maybe tell you what I'm doing. So this week I've been in discussion with miners. I was like talking with the teams about what they do next, because I'm still like responsible for the teams. So despite they're independent, we need to make sure that they're successful. Ways 2.0, a lot of things around this. So, and so many things, I'm always like doing something. So surf should come next. Los Patos, the ducks. So if a team failed, they can stop the failed project, start a new project anonymously, and apply to Waves DAO for more funds and wait to stop this. KYC, so because the teams that have applied for the DAO are well known to the community up to now. That's why people voted for them without much thought, even, and also the funds were donated in the treasury, which is important. If some like unknown teams come, probably people will ask for KYC, Some like, because the teams are like who applied for the DAO are known to the community, but they're even not very public. But people understand who those guys are. But like unknown people who will come will have to have like full KYC aside with the photos and such, So. Maybe I missed it, but when do you think the 2 weeks burn will start? So voting period ends next Friday, and then there is 1 week for activation. So it's like proverbial 2 weeks. What do you think about Tsunami moving over to Ton? They're not actually moving over. They launched a separate project on Ton. And I can't blame them because they got some funding. But Tsunami project on Waves stays on Waves. They just launched a separate project. So This is right. Yeah. Pepe team is not known. They've been in waves for like Pepe is like they have S waves. I think you know their products, for basically for a long time. Yeah, it's two projects. Pepe team has been in waves for a year. That's true. Okay, guys, give me more questions. Threat, accusations. We're like live for almost an hour. I think the questions are slowly petering out. When are you out sunbathing? I'm running in the morning, like for a week already. That's why I'm tanned, I think. East will be stablecoin on Waves now, not like Waves stablecoin. It's going to be project on Waves, obviously. Yeah, not like a Waves stablecoin. No. Yeah. Ordering Chinese food. I don't understand this meme. I'm sorry. Biden has a very strange family. He's a very decent guy, but the children probably do not follow suit. Do you have any reason that you would want ways to rise in price now that you have none? Because I'm not like other, like, I'm how to explain. I don't care about I care about ways in general. This is what will make me happy. Why should I care about the fucking price, man? I don't care. No, so when I'm dead, I'm not gonna be worried about any prices. So maybe it makes sense to do something that will bring you satisfaction, and people are like too crazy about money. So money can bring you happiness, guys. How long do you envision the 2 ways burn stays? I think like realistically, it should be there for at least a year. Let's be like realistic, guys. Yeah. It can be less if we are very successful with something that we will launch. But you can't bet on that. You can't bet on like crazy success, right? So let's be realistic. I think 1 year is a very realistic estimate, and maybe even more. Only someone that's poor would say that. Okay, I'm poor, so what? Yeah, I'm poor, so I'm saying that, so it's okay. But you need to understand that I would say that in any case, so it's not like, there can be different approaches to life, and don't think that everybody has the same approach. That's it. And I totally understand you guys, but there are different life views. We want waves at 10. That would be good. I don't mind that. So if we are successful, it will be reflected in the price, of course, because that's how it works. $1,000 would be even better. Hopefully, everything's going to be fine with the dollar, because I'm not really sure that they know what they're doing. I think some people know what they're doing there, but some people really don't. So it's kind of messy. It doesn't look good, So it doesn't look like some kind of a conspiracy, because conspiracies are usually well orchestrated. And what is happening now is not well orchestrated at all. It looks like a mess. So I'm not sure that everything is going to be fine with the dollar, for example. Although probably everything will be fine, and there is some smart people there, and just some like temporary volatility. What's the plan to gain back the reputation lost in the past 2 years? It's a very good question. And I'm thinking about it quite often. And I think that our goal now is to make Waves independent of any reputation, as any blockchain project should be, because blockchain is about being trustless. You don't have to trust anybody. No, so the goal is to create projects that don't need trust. And now for me, my goal, my goal for maybe for the rest of my life is to create something that can work on its own, as blockchain should work. The goal of blockchain is to be autonomous. There is a protocol, you launch a protocol, and then everything works on its own. And what is happening in crypto now is very different. It depends on people, on founders, on VCs. This is not what crypto should be. And for me, the goal is to make crypto be independent of any reputation of the people involved, because it's just a protocol that should work irregardless of the people who created it. That's it. So my goal now is not to restore the trust. My goal now is to create products which should be trustless, which could work in a trustless way. And I actually understand now that I should have been doing this consciously before, because this is what blockchain is about. This is the only thing which is valuable about blockchain. This is creation of projects, of protocols that can work on their own without human intervention, and they don't really need reputation. It should work like a law of nature, because electricity works without reputation. It just works. Electromagnetic fields don't need any cloud. So. And this is what blockchain should be about. At Waves, there are so many centralized bottlenecks that it keeps away the much needed liquidity. Actually, it's not like that now, because it's we're almost there. Everything is going to work through the DAO. There is not going to be any kind of centralized bridges anymore on Waves. So we are becoming completely decentralized. The Waves army has your back. Thank you very much, guys. Just keep moving the needle. I'm trying to. Okay, so yeah, guys. So 1 hour has passed. I have some other things to do now. To do not better things, but some people are waiting. So thank you for being with us. Time to go check, brother. As you know, English is not my native language, so I don't know what brother is. And it's probably something very Irish. Really, because I know a lot of English words, but not this one. So guys, have a very nice, happy week. Hopefully calm, without much stress. Ride on Waves, power to the people. Miners have voted. Buyback is coming. DAO is coming. Things are starting to look bright again. I love you all. See you next time.